Hello and welcome to Nothing Happens. I'm Dave.
I'm Tom. We have a lot of opinions, but no facts.
Shazam!
It didn't work.
It did.
Did it?
It did. It worked.
So, what you? Oh yeah.
Oh no! I mean, it's recording.
No. I know it's recording. I meant like we're not buff or anything. So.
Oh no, but we
Well,
are
I mean,
anyway.
I'm getting there. But,
Yeah, we are. We are anyway. We have our pure gym memberships. We're fine.
Also, we're not like 14. So yeah.
So no, probably not.
So yeah, there's a point. So we'll be. Hang on. What are we reviewing again?
Right. Okay.
So we went to go see Shazam.
We went to see Shazam, and it's good. It's
very good.
yeah.
It's my favorite DC in the latest run up since what's it called?
It's
Man of Steel.
Yeah. It's I think it's the best.
Yeah,
it's
easily.
definitely the best.
Yep.
It's yes. Right. Well, let's just get straight into it then. We'll just do spoiler free for a bit, and then when we get into spoilers, you do your
Spoilers. Was it that one?
yeah. It's that
Yeah,
one.
okay,
I think
cool.
I just used a soundbite anyway. In fact, I don't think I used it anyway. Never mind. Right. Okay. So what did it? So come on. So some of your favourite bits of it. Then.
Okay, cool. So I just literally remember being sat there for 15 minutes and I was really trying to concentrate on the film and was struggling. Not because it was a bad film, because I was just constantly going, I'm really enjoying this film. I'm so surprised about how much I am enjoying this film.
Yeah, I think it's just everything from the way it's shot, to
Yeah.
the dialogue, to the
Humour.
the humour, the performances. I mean, I told you when we were on the way back that when, so there's the bit at the start where a nice twist as well. Like I mean that's again kind of spoiler territory, but when there's the scene with the car at the start, and the father starts yelling at the kid, and then the truck comes and the music plays, and I was just like, this film's awesome. Right? This is amazing. And this was only like 2 minutes in, and I'd made up my mind. And yeah, it's awesome. I think it's fantastic. I loved how so much made sense. And when that sounds really silly, a really silly point, or the bare minimum you would expect from a film, but it just from the trailers, they were really pushing this humour thing.
And it wasn't. It was all right, but I was just like, I wasn't getting the kind of, yeah, this is really funny vibe. And it's really weird because I remember, I haven't seen a trailer for ages for this, but I remember when I watched bits in the film that I remembered seeing from the trailer, going, I didn't think it was that funny in the trailer. But now in the context of the film,
Yeah.
It really works.
Yeah, it's really good.
There are definitely, in my opinion, I'd say 90% of the comedy works really well. Like, I definitely was like proper laughing
It's
out loud.
actually, and
at
the whole
certain
cinema
bits.
was as
And
well.
the whole cinema was
Yeah.
definitely laughing. But there were like 10% of the jokes I was like, okay, you're going on a little bit too long, or that didn't really quite land. But I've got to say, for any film where 90% of jokes hit home, that's really good.
Yeah, I mean it's a good comedy film.
Yeah.
It's a good family film.
It's a good superhero film.
It's just a damn good film.
Yeah.
Has a lot of heart, heart,
Absolutely.
which is nice in these DC films of late. I mean, you still haven't seen Aquaman, but that film has a good heart as well.
Okay.
Aquaman as well, done very well. I'm really interested to see what the box office numbers are for Shazam tomorrow, because opening weekend.
Well, it's been reviewed really well, which I'm very happy about. I think it's 91% approval rating on something like that, which I think that must be the highest rated out of all of them.
I'm pretty sure it will be. I also think that it might be. I mean, surely it will be the best received. This is crazy. And I love it, and I was saying this again on the way here, but that like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam are now sort of DC's big heroes, and it's like, yeah, like just shelve Batman and Superman for a bit. I mean,
We effectively have now with Batfleck. Like Batfleck is now shelved permanently.
Well, I don't know if he's permanently shut the door on it. It would be nice to see him again at some point, but we're still getting that Batman. Solo Batman film.
Are we?
Yeah.
Definitely happening. Okay.
Yeah. Well, do you not keep up with the news on this stuff?
This is the problem. I have been ever so what? So we started off with Man of Steel, which I quite enjoy. I think that is a fairly decent film.
It's a very good like Earth 1 New 52 kind of thing.
And it's definitely, I definitely would have preferred it if it was just right. This is now the story of Clark realizing his powers, of his family dynamic. Like the best part of the
like
film
Shazam.
is exactly. But like the best part of that film is when he, can't save his father from the tornado and all that kind of thing. It's like it's more about the drama and the interest between the characters rather than when he fights Zod at the end through a giant city, which I found to be quite boring.
Grey hulking villain, which is a tradition that's kept up in Shazam as well. I keep saying, I don't want us to lose focus on the film here.
Sorry.
But no, you are right. But maybe we should do that at some point. We should do now in this new light of how we should do an episode on where we would like to go with DC or how because this world is. I was saying this on the way here, but this DC world now is crazy. I mean, it's sort of. It's how we've come out of the night into the daytime, like kind of literally. Because, I mean, Zack Snyder's films, they worked really well as like Elseworld, but now it's still in this world. That's something that this film does very much. It's rather than a soft reboot, it's more sort of like just big course correction. It's like, right, okay, you know what? This is how it's going to be. And so in this world now, it's also like really... But then again, a lot of the humour comes from the fact that it's a 15-year-old. It is. It is the... But it's very relatable, though, because it is the whole thing of... Because usually a superhero origin film is you train up to become it. Yeah. Whereas he just is like, bam, you're a hero now. And he was like, oh, God. And it's just, I mean, obviously you see it from the trailers, but it's, I mean, the acting, what is his name who plays that Shazam?
Levi Roots.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's Zachary Levi or Levy.
That's it. I mean, he's fantastic.
Yes.
He's brilliant. In fact, the whole cast is. The whole...
Darla is my favourite. Oh my God. She gets introduced immediately and I'm just like, you're adorable. And then by the end I was like, I want your own spin-off. Just you. Doesn't have to be a superhero film. Just like, you're brilliant.
Well, actually, I mean, we'll get into that in spoilers. Yes. But that is something that could be very possible.
Very true.
Could be very possible. Anyway, so... I mean, the story, I like how simple it is as well. And I like how quick the time frame is, too. It's like... To be honest, I feel that maybe we should just go straight into spoilers now. Because I feel that so much about this film that makes it good, even if you've seen all the trailers, is how quickly they get into stuff and how it unwraps. And that's... for me, was a really nice surprise. So I think we should just...
Spoilers! There we go.
Right, you have been warned.
I definitely need like a foghorn or something. I'll find something by the next podcast.
Kind of thing. That was an awful foghorn sound. What the fuck was that?
I remember like all the airs just going through. It's like...
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. On all the vans I had, they all had really shitty wimpy horns. So like, so it's like you can't be a white van man driver if your horn's like it just doesn't work. But anyway. I'm
just gonna get like a sad trombone noise.
Oh, can't you do a didgeridoo?
I do have my didgeridoo.
That would be the spoiler noise.
Okay, so this one, for God's sake. Okay, right. Okay, from now on, we've got the didgeridoo as a spoiler noise.
Yes, from now on. Okay. Anyway. Not even Australian. But we'll just get Ben on the bagpipes. We'll have a special guest spoiler alert.
Special guest
spoiler alert. Okay, alright, we're getting sidetracked here. Right, so it's fantastic. Okay, so the car crash at the start.
So you start off with Mark Strong's character when he's younger, and you think at the start, oh, this is the origin story of the thing. You're like, bloody hell, we got into this quickly of Shazam. Yeah. And it was just like, no, this isn't him. And then he ends up back in the car, and you're like, right, okay, so it's the bad guy this is the origin of. Like, okay, fair enough. Really and then it was that wonderful moment where he's yelling, the car spins out of control, and I was like, oh, this is the bit where the car spins out of control and hits the tree, and someone dies, and oh, isn't it horrible? Spin. Oh, Oh, okay. Oh,
They
all just
survived.
they survived and
And
no
then-
one got hurt.
yeah,
and then it's
and
like,
then the dad's-
blah, 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 crash, and
Yeah.
the truck just runs into them. Once again, I'm convinced that Americans don't think that any car anywhere has ever managed to stop in a film. Like especially as it like twice in this film, either the car was hit by a car, and then later on, what's her name, Lily gets run over by.
Well, she's not she's not looking as she crosses the road.
But the driver of the car could not see anyone.
It's his right of way. I'm sorry, I'm on the driver's side here.
You never get this in British films. You never get this.
I want to see more of it over
Everyone
here.
sort of stops and courteously lets you
Yeah.
pass, rather
Ah.
than in America. So they're like, fuck it. Just
Yeah,
plows
well,
into crowds of people that
to be
apparently
honest,
shouldn't be there.
I think we can learn something from that lost colony. To be honest, they're doing great moves out there with not slowing down on the roads when something's in your way. Should do it here. Anyway, yeah. So that bit's fantastic. I really loved the family that he goes to. That like they genuinely felt like a family. That I bought that these two were foster kids themselves. That they're just trying to do something like good for these kids as well. And that they are all like this team, this unit.
Yeah.
I bought that.
I really loved what's his name's opening line where he turns up and goes, "They seem nice, but it gets real Game of Thrones around us."
Oh yeah.
And it's admittedly some of those jokes where it's just like, especially as it progresses, where it's like, oh no, gotcha, and it got a little bit heavy-handed.
It did get a little bit. Yeah, I mean, by the end, it definitely was like, it's time to stop now. It's time to grow up.
But then again, that's what 15-year-olds would do.
Exactly.
So that kind of immature comedy. It's like, yeah, sod it. That's where their minds are, and they've brought that through very well.
They really have.
But it's really nice how they've kind of got right. This is a 15-year-old sense of humor, but most of it is actually anyone's sense of humor.
Yeah,
or it's a much more general one.
Well, everyone thinks that they're an amazing comedian when they're 15, and then you get a bit older and you realise, I'm kind of lucky if my friends find me funny. But it's yeah. But that was fantastic. Wizard is really good in it. Set's really good for that as well. Sound is really good in this film.
Oh yeah, because the wizard is what's his name from.
He's in Guardians of the Galaxy
and Captain Marvel. So
Yeah.
I just find it interesting when you get that crossover between the two with
Yeah.
an actor, and it's like, you're in
What's his
both
name
DC
again?
and Marvel. It's it's like DJ something Husson. I can't pronounce his name. It's
okay, no worries. That's really good. You get a nice little Black Adam teaser as well when he's doing like the origin thing of I gave my powers out and I chose them wisely.
Yeah.
And
if we do get The Rock, is he actually like properly signed
yeah.
up? Oh, okay,
They've said. I mean, I don't know though because recently he said something about that he might not be doing that many films anymore.
Yeah, he's apparently going away from acting now, which is really weird because yes, he's not done the best films in the world, but like he's definitely going for hits mostly, isn't he? He's very flavour of the year at the moment, which is
yeah. Well, it's been a few years. Really.
Yeah, no, true.
But
you still need to watch Jumanji.
No, no.
I'll never convince you, will I? That it's actually a very funny film.
Well, okay, we're probably going to find a compromise here, aren't we?
Oh, because I've still got to watch Justice League
and Aquaman.
Well, Aquaman I do actually want to watch.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you have to watch Justice League though, like just because I mean. Anyway, let's back to Shazam.
The self-punishment of a Catholic boy.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not even Catholic. It's what Catholic school will do to you. Anyway, staying on Shazam. I like that they make fun of how dumb the outfit looks as well.
Yeah.
Like
because you can't really. I mean, there are certain costumes which we've seen. Like I was really worried about how they were going to make Wonder Woman updated, and it did sort of work quite well. But his one is like white cape, big lightning bolts on the chest. The rest of it is red. It's like it looks silly, but it's like fine. Yeah. We'll take note that this looks silly.
I mean, I think as long as they, like you say, keep note on that.
Yeah.
But also once you get into that world where, well, this is. The outfit of a superhero from like ancient Greece kind of thing because
which was they kind of did that with that that pattern on the edge of the cloak.
Well, no, it is anyway because that's what Shazam stands for. It's the it's all the gods' names. It's the Italians. That's why it's Shazam.
Oh, there you go. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's why I'm a bigger nerd than you.
No, absolutely fine by me.
But that's why you get me on here to do this. But yeah, so that's where it all comes from.
Okay.
Yes, so that was very good. I liked how he got his. I can't really.
We can't fault it apart from bits of the humour.
It's really annoying that when a film is really good like this, I just kind of. My reviewing kind of goes out the window a bit. I'm like, just see it. It's good. Like,
what did you think of the villain? Because it's Mark Strong as a villain he's kind of like, now that Alan Rickman, rest his soul, has passed away, the world needs a new who is always going to be a villain, and it seems to be Mark Strong now, and he does it very well. Don't get me wrong, but it's a little bit of a forgettable villain.
Well, what's his name? Dr. Yeah, I mean, I even forget his name. But he is sort of like one of Shazam's like main villains. Like, he's kind of like...
Sivana.
Yeah, that's it.
Thaddeus Sivana.
Yeah, Dr. Sivana, that's it. He's sort of like, I mean, it's him and Black Adam that are like, you know, they're like the two big Shazam villains. Yeah. So I knew that he wasn't gonna die in this. Because I was like, oh, he's just gonna get the thing like pulled out of him, and so, but that's good as well. Is so like, you know, they keep having.
You can't unless it's it's very much one of those films where you cannot have the hero cause the death of. You can't pull a Man of Steel on this because the kid's freaking 14. Like, that would be very dark if at the end he decides to kill him. It's like, yeah, we're not quite ready for that. God, there's some of the death scenes in that were brutal. Like, I really like this. So there's a bit where Mark Strong, Dr. Zhivago, turns up and like hurls his brother out of the window, and I was like, Christ, that was brutal. And
that was pretty full on.
And then it's like, and then you get like that horrible creature like bite the head, like some of the seven sins, like especially one with this huge fat one with the stomach.
Oh
opens
yeah,
up.
when that I felt you shudder like next or something when it's. Because when it's chasing what's her name at the end, and it just like opens itself, I was like, "Oh, that was cool," and you next to me just go, "Whoa!"
I was like, "Oh, that's very unpleasant. I don't like that."
Oh yeah, that was that was gluttony, wasn't it?
I didn't imagine so. The fat one.
Yeah. Stupid fat gluttony. Yeah, I mean, they all looked really good as well.
Once again, that you were saying about, has to fight a grey CGI. In this one, we've got 7 of them for you. And yes, admittedly, they're not the main villain.
Isn't this the seventh DC film? Is this the 7th? Is it?
Okay, hang on. So
Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman,
Justice League, Aquaman.
Shazam! It is! And so they're like, for the 7th one, we're going to do 7. We're going to give you 7 big grey monsters.
I'm trying to think if we missed one. I really hope this is right.
I really hope it's right.
I
really hope it is.
Hang on, one more time, really quickly. So it's
Man of Steel. We can just look this up.
No,
but we don't do that on here.
No.
This is all opinion.
This is all opinion. Batman versus Superman, Aquawoman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Suicide Squad, Justice League. Yeah, I think it is.
It is.
Unless we've both forgotten one film.
I'm pretty sure we haven't.
No, I think we better.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Fair enough.
I think that's it. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
This film's just even better than I thought it was. It's great. I love it. Okay, right. I'll tell you what. Let's talk about some stuff that I didn't like.
Okay.
For a bit, and that you didn't like as well. So the first thing I was a bit like, in terms of story, was I thought it was way too soon to bring in the Shazam family. Like I knew that Mary, would probably become like Mary Marvel at some point.
Which one was Mary?
Mary's the one who was crossing the road.
Oh, the big sister.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I know that she had done it, and I knew that there is like the Shazam family, but I thought I just thought it was a little too soon because it's like, well, I get that there's 7 things that you need to beat, but we've just got you, and
8 technically.
8.
So 7 things you need to beat plus Mark Strong.
Yeah, but without...
No. But there are only 6 of them, aren't there?
There's only 6 of them there, but that's because Gluttony was still in his eye. Isn't
No,
it?
no, 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 no. No, I meant as in there's only 6 of the Marvel family now, isn't there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yes. But I just thought that was a bit too soon. But I kind of get it because I mean potential sequels then as well, like
Yeah.
lots of them.
I don't know, because the thing was, I really enjoyed all of the foster kids. Like all of them, like, you know, individually have their own quirks and their own personality. And you don't
Yeah.
get much of certain ones of them, but what you do get was really enjoyable, especially Vidala.
Yeah.
and then, you know, when you suddenly get them all actually like having the powers and that kind of thing. And I think the whole thing is supposed to be like, okay, it's the power of family or something, I guess.
Well,
but,
that's the whole thing with it being
yeah.
Foster, because that's the whole thing. Like he's been running the whole time.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
and
God, can we talk about the bit with his mum? Oh.
Can we talk about that in a minute?
Okay,
Because I liked that bit.
Yeah,
and
I know.
I just
True,
want
okay.
and this is the small bit I don't like
the
saying
niggles.
anyway. Yeah. Sometimes the CGI was a little bit wobbly in terms of like the Seven Sins. I mean, it was
Yeah.
there was never a bit where it was terrible.
No.
I thought that when they were flying, it looked really good.
It weirdly worked because obviously CGI is, you know, there's always kind of mostly issues with things like that. But the way they kind of made them like smoke monsters, I was like, actually, you kind of get around it that way.
You do,
and it's
yeah.
not overdone. Like I definitely wasn't watching this film and constantly being aware they are pretty much the only bit of CGI which is very obviously in your face, and they are just CGI monsters. So
Yeah.
you can't not see that effectively.
Yes, yeah.
But the rest of it, I thought was like with the fight scenes and that kind of thing. Like I didn't feel too much like it was.
Yeah.
And the fight scenes were pretty good, but once again, it's nothing new we haven't seen before.
No, but I wasn't expecting that.
No, okay.
And
apart from the bit where she runs along the side of the
you saw that
the
in Justice
Ferris
League.
wheel.
Oh well, I saw that in
yeah,
Justice
okay,
League.
you've seen it in Justice League. I blessedly haven't seen it yet. So.
Yeah. But the I did. To be honest, I think that was the only thing that I didn't really like about it. I thought that the rest was all good. I thought motivations were all good in terms of story as well. I thought the pacing was good. I did actually think when they're on the rooftop at the end and he's trying to get like gluttony out of his eye, I was just
no, envy.
Envy.
Yeah,
that was it. Sorry, yeah.
So just to get that bit right.
God, as if I just said that sentence. He's trying to get gluttony out of his eye. God. Anyway, I thought then I felt this fight's kind of gone on a bit too long now. I hope it ends soon. But it did. So I'm glad that it did.
And it was one of those kind of classic you trick the villain kind of, and it was. I mean, I guess he's 14. He's not going to think of something groundbreaking, but. I don't know. I was just a bit like, okay, he's going to do this, and then Envy leaves, and then he's going to fall off the building. And oh, look at that happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Slightly anticlimactic, but that is the problem with superhero climaxes. You've either got sky lasers, or a massive fight scene, or a chase scene, or something. You are limited by the universe that you're in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all action films, really. To be honest,
True.
it's. I mean, you know, even sort of.
Apart from Dread.
It's funny that you say that because I was going to say. Even like with Dread is like it still was nothing that we hadn't seen before. It was just done very, very well.
Yes.
But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I can't really think of much else that I didn't like. There's just too much to like in this film, to be honest. It's really, really good. Okay then, so let's get back now to so we've done that. So now we can just talk about bits that we like and just go.
I think it's definitely the bit where he finds his mum. It was like, to be fair, it was a little bit too. Oh, she only lives 2 blocks away. I was like, okay, that's kind of dumb. It's like if you found where she lived somewhere in America, I'd have been like, okay, so he can now fly off to go see it because he has the ability to fly very fast, which I found a little bit sort of too coincidental, as it were. But the actual meeting between the two of them, where she just doesn't want to see him, where you're just like, because it was one of those things I was thinking like,
yeah. Go on.
Sorry. So yeah, no, it was one of those things where I was like, watching the film, going, okay, so if she's here and she wasn't able to find him, this is really dumb. Like, it doesn't make any sense why she couldn't have just found him, or he couldn't have found her. And then it actually turned out she abandoned him. I was like, oh, that hurt. And that was really really good, but really, that really hurt.
Was really good, and it was sort of it was sort of it wasn't sort of anything. No, it was very well done, and it was in such a great contrast, which it's supposed to be as well, to the foster family that's taken him in, but that these parents as well who have taken him in, or these people who are going to be his parents have taken him in, they don't even really know him yet, and you can tell from the moment that they instantly care, like that they genuinely do.
Yeah.
So
it's just a cast of lovely characters.
It's fantastic.
They've all got, like, from the kids to the adults to the just like all that kind of thing. You've just got a cast of really very likable people, but that all have quite distinguishing personalities. They're not just I am kind person. It's I am kind person, and also I have some personality to go with it.
I am kind person, and here's a bit of personality. Just have a dollop of some cream of personality on there. And then
but you still get, like, you know, when the father of the family is like yelling at him in the room, you're still getting, like, the reason why this family dynamic still works. Like, this is the thing. It's like, as a superhero film, it works really well, but also just as, like, a kind of nice family drama, kid wants to find a home film, it works as well.
To be honest, just as a film, it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is like a lot of, like, I heard going up to this that what they were going for basically was that Tom Hanks film Big, but so it's just big but with superpowers, and it's like, it's awesome, so good. And the bit where, you know, I love it when they're in the shop, and it's the bit from the trailer where, you know, and he's saying, like,
hello, madam, I would like to purchase your finest beer, please.
That bit, but then when he goes up to the guys who are trying to rob him, he's like, how about we settle this like gentlemen or something? And he snatches the guy's gun, and the other one shoots him, and he's like, oh, I'm bulletproof! And he's like, get him to shoot him again. He goes, oh yeah, do it again. And he gives the guy the gun back, and he's like, yeah, shoot me again. It's so good. Like, and it's bits like that you know, so we'd already seen that bit in the trailer, but then that bit then builds on it, and it's something new that you haven't seen, which is like, oh, that's just made the scene even better. Yeah. All of this, and they didn't like the beer. That was really good.
I mean, I saw that coming.
I totally saw that.
But it was still. But the thing is, it's like you see it coming, but then they add a bit to it, because it's like they drink the beer and then they go, it's like, I saw that coming, and then it snaps to them coming out with a load of snacks.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I didn't see that coming, and that is funny. So it just, every time they sort of add stuff to it, it works really well. There was the bit where the dog, he's trying to put the bus down and the dog's in the way, and I was just like, okay, we get it. Can we move on now? But once again, we always come back to the humor in this, but the humor was so good.
It was fantastic. It was really good. I think that, to be honest, I think DC kind of like is at a really good point now, because Aquaman did the same thing. Like I was saying to you, there was definitely a lot more humor in there. The humor wasn't as good as in this, but But Aquaman wasn't as.
It's not supposed to be, is
it?
Well, this is like a comedy superhero film, while Aquaman, I would assume, is a superhero film that is comedic moments.
Exactly.
It's like the difference between, I don't know, like the difference between like Iron Man and Guardians of the Galaxy, for example.
Yes, exactly. So but DC's in a really good place at the moment. That it's getting brighter, they're expanding the world. The world's getting weirder as well. It's getting more colourful. Just, hold on to that, because that's what all of your superheroes are like. Not all your superheroes are dark, brooding, and gritty.
Well, I wouldn't mind if they got dark, brooding, and gritty right. Like this, they haven't quite managed to get that kind of film to be correct. Like, don't get me wrong. Like not just the humour in this works, but I was completely engaged in the film the whole way through, apart from the first 15 minutes where I just couldn't stop going, how much I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
But for the whole film, I was like, I'm fully immersed in this film. The comedy is keeping me, but actually everyone's story is quite interesting. It's very well written. I like the pacing. Like, just it's directed very well. Like, everything like that just works incredibly well to make an all-round good film.
Yeah.
And I haven't got that in previous one, and it didn't take the comedy to do that. It took a well-rounded film to do that, and we really haven't had that in DC, not fully. Like, I think the nearest one, because my personal favourite before this is still Man of Steel, which I still find dull towards the end, which I shouldn't, because it's a massive fight scene. But
it's funny, isn't it? I mean, I'm kind of ebbing and flowing, to be honest. I mean, I think that actually. We're going to save this for a DC one. Okay. We're going to come back to Shazam.
Right. Okay.
Right, so, just to sort of, maybe kind of round this off a bit then.
It's a good film.
It's really good. I'm just trying to think if there's any other bits in it that I thought were particularly good, or that I thought were sort of like good, poignant moments. Or, I mean, I think Watson did a good job of being the bad guy, and I like how it, because he doesn't have superpowers essentially.
Yeah.
That's not his shtick. It did a good job of actually, he escapes unharmed, so he will come back. That's the other bit. What's with this worm?
Oh god. Okay. So yeah, the post-credit scene. So I've had a quick look. I don't know this thing from anything. So it's called like Mind Worm or Doctor Worm or something like that. Yeah. So it's an alien worm that is telepathic and forms a secret society of villains. So
okay.
So actually, this is now expanding into us actually having a kind of Legion of Doom-esque kind of thing, but not the Legion of Doom, but something like that.
Finally,
which we've not
finally.
had. We've
can,
not had.
Can DC just do that? Don't do Darkseid, because even though that's like, Darkseid came first and Thanos was a rip-off of Darkseid. Marvel have done that.
Yeah.
Marvel does not have the villain roster to do a Legion of Doom. DC does. And it's different.
Well, they do, but they're all in the Spider-Man universe.
Oh, come on. Name 7 Spider-Man villains.
Well, okay, so you have Doc Ock, Mysterio, Scorpion, Green Goblin, God, who else was in the Sinister 7 or whatever it was?
Oh, yeah, there's the Sinister 6.
The Sinister 6 side.
See, I'm not a Spider-Man fan,
so you have like you have the roster there effectively but that's obviously, fairly Spider-Man specific as it was.
Yeah.
But then DC have really done more of things like, okay, so we've got Lex Luthor running the Legion of Doom and all that kind of thing.
You've got Lex Luthor, you got Brainiac, you can put fucking like Bane in there. I mean, there's what's his name as well?
Gorilla Grodd.
I mean, if you want to do Cheetah as well,
yeah,
even stick her in there, you can have a good old Cheetah in there.
I know that Vandal Savage has run it a few times.
Vandal Savage, he would be another great one.
There's a point. There's what we need to have. We haven't had a proper Vandal. We haven't had a Vandal Savage in a film version yet, have we?
No.
That would be really good.
That would be good, but I'm
drifting.
Drifting.
Yes.
Like,
back to Shazam.
we will just do this DC one actually. But right, yeah, Shazam. There's really not that much I can fault on it. I think it's great. I wonder like how they're going to handle the sequel. I really just want to see The Rock as Black Adam.
Okay.
And it's be like, you think you sort of have all the powers, like, because.
It'd be really interesting as well, because this is now a film that is known for its comedy, and now because The Rock has always tied himself, majoritively at least, to comedy films, if he can actually just do a straight villain. I'd really like to see if he can do it. Like don't get me wrong. I think
like the Scorpion King.
Wow. Why did they CGI his face?
I don't.
Anyway, no, I'm not getting sidetracked. That wasn't even like a villain. That was anyway. So yeah, but no, I think it'd be really interesting to see him as a non-CGI, serious threat, as it were, that doesn't need to have the comedy side to it. Obviously, you have them getting into slightly comedic situations or something, or like, certain moments, but overall being a genuine threat, I think would be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
Black Adam is quite intimidating as well.
Black Adam's very intimidating. Yeah. I mean, well, he forms his own bloody like government somewhere at some point, doesn't he? He's just like a fascist dictator. I seem to remember that at some point. He's great. He's fantastic. But yeah, Superman bit at the end. Really, really liked it. Love that they left out the head, so it's like, don't worry, there might be a mustache, or it might be CGI'd off, or is Henry Cavill even still in? Because there's a whole question of is he even in?
I wonder if it had been him, how much the budget of the film would have had to been increased by. Just literally like a 1 second shot of him, how much it would have cost to get him in that.
Yeah.
So I think, I would genuinely like to see if from 1 second of film, what's the most amount of money you could possibly make from that.
From what?
So if it had been him right at the end, and he literally, they just showed the face as he sat down at the table, and then they cut it, And it's like,
Yeah.
how much could he have made
Oh,
from one
wow.
second
Wow.
of film?
God, probably more than I'll ever make in my whole life.
Oh, God, that's depressing.
It really is, isn't it? Yeah, it's mad. There's something I want to talk to you about off air.
Okay.
Off air, but it was like this deal that I got recently on something.
Okay.
And it's funny that whenever I look at it, I'm like, wow, it's like 2 months rent. but I got a deal on it, so it's like, but it's worth that much. But anyway, yeah, I really don't have that much to say on that, to be honest. I'm very, 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 very excited for the future of DC now.
I genuinely am now. I
Right.
actually, like, beforehand, because of
They've done it. They've fucking done it. They've fucking
yeah,
done it.
And it's don't get me wrong, it took 7 films and 9 years or however bloody long it's been, and Suicide Squad, and yeah,
And
but now
Justice League. Don't forget the Justice League.
Well, I don't have to. I haven't seen it yet.
Yes, it is. It is.
But no, it's I'm finally like, right, okay, DC's now going in a direction which I can get on board with finally, and it's all thanks to Shazam, which I think, yeah,
It
just
is.
both thoroughly enjoyed. Best DC film as you know, from the new set that we've seen, and yeah, well done, whoever the director is.
Yeah, you can
Scroll.
grade it. Well,
I'm
we're
scrolling,
Not,
I'm
we're not,
scrolling.
We're not doing facts anyway. We don't do facts here. This is all just opinion.
Oh, I've never heard of him anyway. Okay,
All right. Well, never mind.
well done, David
Mr. Person.
Sandberg.
Mr. Person we've never fucking heard of. Yeah, well done. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good.
What if we give it a star rating, which we've never done before?
No. We
We
do
know-
the thumbs. We do the
We're
thumbs.
doing the thumbs.
We do
aren't
the thumbs.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so-
what? Remind the rules. So it's
So-
so we both get 2 thumbs up, or 2 thumbs down, or 1 thumb up, or whatever
Yeah.
it is,
So
and then
well,
we combine.
no. I thought of a new way to make this even more complicated. Okay. So
3
no, it
rock,
makes it-
paper, scissors, up.
No. It's basically you can you can either, so it's always out of 4. It's always out of 4 thumbs.
4 thumbs. 2 for me
So-
and 2 for you.
yes.
For obvious reasons.
So if you really don't like something, then you can give it, say, like, you can give it negatives, but you can't give something like a 1 up and a 1 down. Like it's
Yeah, because
either-
that would just mean
yeah.
no thumbs.
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
yeah,
It's like
exactly.
1
So,
minus 1.
yeah, no, it's just so it is just, but my minuses don't affect your don't affect your thumb.
What, so we're going
So
to
it-
somehow
so
give
it's-
1
so it's,
thumb
uh,
up and 2
thumbs
thumbs down
down.
at
Yeah.
the same time? Okay, well, I think this one's going to be nice and easy because it's just 2 thumbs up.
It's 4 thumbs.
There we go.
4 thumbs all around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best DC film ever.
Ever.
No.
Wow.
No, it's not best DC film ever.
But best out of the new DC universe.
It's definitely best in this universe, and yeah, let's just get a fucking Superman film like this now. Like
Yeah.
that, Shazam is a better Superman film than I think that we've ever really got, to be honest, in some ways.
Yeah.
Except obviously Shazam's much more about family, whereas
Oh, no, because definitely Superman is...
Superman's about hope.
No, it is about hope, but it is also, remember, who, raised by, adopted. The parallels are there.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why. I mean, you know how DC got Shazam or Captain Marvel as it was. Oh, well.
Okay.
That's a story for another time. Anyway, we've done the thumb rating.
Yeah,
I'll tell you it off air. All right, okay.
Well, thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, congratulations.
If you would like to contact us, you can do that via Instagram or email. Our email is andnothinghappens@gmail.com, and you can find us on Instagram at andnothinghappens.